With Title Update 3 coming out within the next week for The Division 2, there is a lot of nerfs and buffs happening, like the ARs are being buffed, the exotics are being buffed, but a lot of the talents are being nerfed. And I saw a video recently that's got me thinking about skill builds. It was someone glitching the Jefferson Trade Center mission. And if you've seen it, you'll know that you go around the side of the building, you chuck up your turret on top of the wall, then you throw over your seeker mine and eventually kill the boss. I haven't tried the glitch, I probably won't, just because it's easy enough to do it with my build on any difficulty. But I'm thinking that skill builds might become the new meta. I'm not saying they definitely will. Obviously, there's nerfs to talents like Unstoppable Force, it's staying as 2% weapon damage, although that currently works 1.5, I don't know if they're actually making it 2%. But instead of that percentage taking effect with 10,000 armor, you now need 25,000 armor. And I'm not going to make a build just yet, I think it's pointless because the update is so close. I could make a build and it could go completely south when the update drops. Other things like Berserk, a lot of people run Berserk with their AR builds. That's being nerfed. Instead of it giving you 10% weapon damage for 10% armor depleted, it's now going to take 20% of your armor depleted to give you that 10% boost. So it essentially gave you 100% extra weapon damage, it's now going to give you 50 only. But what I've done is I've wrote down notes, there's a spreadsheet link in the description to all the gear talents and mods and stuff like that, which is really helpful. I've written down all of the talents that you can get that I think are going to be the best for a skill build. So we'll go through them, and then in the comments let me know what you think. I'm hoping that we don't hear anything about further nerfs and stuff, so that when the update drops, Title Update 3, I'll be able to make some builds and stuff then. But you can more than likely expect me to make some sort of a skill build when the update drops. The first thing is there's only 4 passives that are used for utility. You have Empowered, which increases your skill power by 10%. You have Surge, which reduces your skill cooldown by 10%. Then you've got Destructive, explosive damage increase by 20%. And you also have Capacitive, increase your skill duration by 20%. And it's only on the Kneepads or Mask that any of the 4 can roll. All other gear is limited to Destructive and Capacitive. In the video I mentioned about cheesing the Jefferson Trade Center mission, the skill cooldowns were like 10 seconds on the turret and the seeker mine. And if you do see a skill build on the channel when Title Update 3 drops, I will be using them skills, although I might mix it up and try with different ones and just see what works the best. But as long as you can get high damage from them, you can still use utility talents and go for weapon damage. But I think it's going to be nice, it's going to actually give me a reason to grind for gear to set up a completely different build. So the active talent I would go for on the Mask is Creeping Death. Causing a status effect has a chance to spread it to another enemy within 10 meters. The chest unfortunately only has Mad Bomber as an active utility talent, which increases your grenade radius and requires low utility. So I would probably take Berserk, as you can deal more weapon damage if you lose some armor, although as we mentioned it has been nerfed a bit. And not just that, you're not required to use utility talents to make a skill build. I've just gone with them because they give you cooldown reduction, they boost the damage and the duration. But on the backpack, I would take Skilled or Tech Support. Tech Support will grant skill damage and duration. Skilled on the other hand will give you a 25% chance of resetting your active skill cooldowns when you get a kill using a skill. Also, if you want to go for weapon damage using a utility talent, you can go with On the Ropes, where you have to have both skills on cooldown, so if you have a very low cooldown this probably won't be beneficial. But On the Ropes gives you a 25% weapon damage boost, and the reason I'm going for this is because looking through patch notes I've seen on multiple different websites now, I'm not sure if they're 100% accurate, but from what I've seen it's mainly the offensive and defensive talents that are having a nerf or a buff. Whereas utility ones haven't been focused on too much, there probably is going to be changes, and that's why I'm steering clear of making the build until the update comes out. For the gloves, I would take Terminate because it increases the skill damage when you destroy a target's armor, although you could take Compensated if your offensive stat is really low and you want to boost your weapon damage a little bit. Filler up on the holster, which is going to be good if you're running an LMG, because reloading from empty reloads all weapons. So you would essentially spray your LMG, switch to another weapon, and when you reload that, your LMG is going to reload too, as long as you're reloading the other gun from empty. And last but definitely not least, the Kneepads. I would probably go with Calculated because it reduces your cooldowns by 20% if you kill an enemy whilst you're in cover. You could take Patience for armor regen if your defensive stat is high enough, or you could use Braced to increase your weapon handling whilst you're in cover, if you're using weapons and skills for the build. And alongside that, they are fixing something with the assault drone. It's a little bit lazy, if you want to call it that, but they're making sure that it better seeks active targets. So if there's a target that is just killed, instead of it just floating around doing nothing, the ability for it to seek another target is going to be improved. And not just that, the Seeker Mines, they already do damage in my build currently, so improving their damage and stuff, putting different mods on, going for skill power. Then we have the new auxiliary battery coming in, which is going to improve your skill power even further. So overall, I think it's going to be good. It might become new meta, might not, I don't know, but I think it definitely has the chance. Not only that, I put up a community post recently asking what you think of skill builds, whether you love them, whether you haven't tried them or you dislike them or anything like that. And a lot of you have said you haven't tried them yet, so if we can manage to put one together that does really well, then it's something, it gives us an extra reason to grind for things in this game. But I won't just be focusing on a skill build, I'll also do stuff regarding damage output, tanky sort of builds and stuff. I'm going to be mixing a lot of things up over the course of the next couple of weeks until the raid drops, because I want to make sure I'm fully prepared with my build. But that is going to do it for this video, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think of skill builds. Do you think they could be a good option for running missions and stuff? Or do you completely disagree with them? I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching.